Don't forget to click that subscribe and bell icon to receive a notification each time I upload a new video. Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Actually, I don't think I'm centered in the frame correctly there. How's that? Right in the middle. So it's time for June's mid-month mini mission inspiration. And this month, the letter that was pulled out at random was the letter J. So I'll put on screen at the moment the words for inspiration, which are, if I can remember, jewel, jeans, jelly, jade, and junk. So for my art tag this month, I'm going to use the word jade. I'm going to take that as being the colour jade. So I'm going to be working in green and also the word junk. So what I'm going to be creating today is literally going to be made from junk. Okay, so as you saw, that was the prompt card for the month of June. Which I've printed out ready to stick on the back of my project once it's completed. So I've got together a collection here of bits and pieces, stuff that I've collected over, over the past 5-7 years or whatever. There's just all sorts of bits and bobs, charms, bits of metal, screws, all sorts of stuff, leftovers that I've just thrown into a pot. There's even an octopus cameo there, look. But also I've got my tag journal, which I've already created my base tag for this month. So as you can see, it's made from a box of dog food. So reusing or recycling or repurposing junk packaging. So I've already cut that out. I've got some bubble wrap. Now this is the type of bubble wrap that's only got a single side to it. So it's flat on one side and the other side it's got the bumps on it. Some bubble wrap, the bumps are actually sandwiched between two sheets of plastic, so you don't actually get to feel the actual bumps. It's actually smooth on both sides. So I've had to hunt high and low for a piece that was only single-sided. The other thing I've got is some corrugated packaging. So this is the sort of stuff that you get and it's wrapped around something like that when it comes to the post. Typically, in my case, bottles of rum. I'm not saying anything. When it's delivered through the post, they wrap it in this kind of stuff to protect it, which I never throw away. So this is great corrugated cardboard because, again, normally this kind of corrugation is sandwiched between two layers of paper, so you have to dig at it to get this corrugated kind of texture. With this you don't, which is why I always save it. So this is what I'm going to use for the base for my tag for this month. So what I want to do is I want to cut this up into smaller squares, or some of this up into smaller squares. So I've cut the corrugated cardboard up into squares. Now these are about 33mm by 33mm square, or that's about 1 1/3 inches if you're doing it in old money. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to now stick these down just using some grab and go glue from Indigo Blue. Almost rhymes, doesn't it? And I'm going to stick them down in a like a checkerboard pattern. So just whip them like that. So I'm going to alternate the way the corrugations are running. Like so, and I'm going to continue that up right the way to the top of the tag. So and I'm going to just kind of space them out a little bit as I'm going, just to kind of make sure that I've kind of got them fairly even. Okay, so my corrugated cardboard has all been glued down. I've even trimmed it up at the top. It's been a good kind of like half hour. I've let it sit for quite some time. So what I want to do now is I just want to give it a quick coat of white gesso. So I'm just going to move my craft mat, grab a paintbrush, That'll do. And I'm just using indigo blue white gesso. And I'm just going to go all the way over. Try and get in as many of the nooks and crannies as I can. But if I miss any, I don't mind. Because if you can tell what it is after I've done, the fact that it's corrugated cardboard, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. The prompt that I'm using from the list is the word junk, so if you can see what I've actually used, then that's fine by me. Okay, so now that that's dry, I'm going to start sticking on some of this junk items. So I've cut one of the squares of bubble wrap, and I'm just going to add some glue. I think I've blocked up the top. There we go. That should do it now. So just add a little bit of that glue onto the back, and I can start adding a couple of these little squares of the bubble wrap just to cover a few. I'm not going to do masses, just want a couple of different bits of the texture. So I'll have another piece of that down here. And one more piece, I think, just neighbouring that other one. I think we'll have that on there like so. Okay, so I can now start delving into my junk to see what other pieces I've got. I'm just going to stick them down just using this grab and go. It's fairly strong, like PVA, and it will grip fairly quickly. So I've got a nice little old watch mechanism. Stick that in there, and then let's see what else we've got. There's a key, that's good. So I'll put a little just on there like so. That can span a couple. It'll just sit nicely in one of the grooves. And what else have we got? A penny farthing. That's cute. The beauty about this PVA glue is that it dries nice and clear. What else have we got? Junk wise. There's another watch. We'll drop that one down there, I think. And then, what's that? A bee? We'll have that towards the top. And then maybe see what else we've got. A lot of charms that are, yeah, what does that say? Journey. Okay. Got a lot of charms that I've got clock faces. And then what else? Just having a quick rake. Have to bear with me. What's that? Don't think that's going to lay flat because it's got another clock face. Looks like it's clock day today. Okay, one more I think, and then I'll give up, because all this just seems to be clock faces and cogs. Very steampunk. Ah, there's an escutcheon there. How about if I drop that down there? Okay. Let's see if we can do it half and half. Okay, that'll do. So now I need to sit and leave that to dry as best as possible before I can move on with anything. So I might just try and encourage it a little bit with the heat gun, just so it'll grab. And of course the bubble wrap's just melted, of course, but it'll just add to a bit more of the texture. Never mind, you live and learn. I don't know what I was expecting. Ought to have known. So it's had a chance to cool down, because obviously it's very, very hot, or was very, very hot because it's all metal, and the glue's set enough that it's not going to fall off. So I'm going to give it another coat of white gesso. So this time I've got a little bit of a smaller brush, just so I can get in between all those little kind of nooks and crannies. I'm just going to go over just those charms. Here we go. It doesn't take long. And I'm still going to go over the bubble wrap, even though it's melted, because it does give a little bit of texture and has suddenly become junk. Haha. Okay, I'll leave it for a minute or two, and then I'll come back and I'll give it a quick second coat, and then it'll be time to add the jade colour. Okay, so first coat dry. We'll just brush on just another quick surface coat. There we go. I'm not adding huge amounts, just enough to give it a dusting, if you like. That's it, just enough. So that should theoretically now be enough gesso to enable me to add my coat of colour. So we'll get that dried off and then we'll be back. Okay, so that second coat of white gesso is dry. So I've gone into my paint collection and I've pulled out a couple of green colours. So I've got festive green and sour apple. So these will do for my kind of jade coat. So what I'll do is I'm going to mix and match with these two paint colours. So I'm going to put a fair bit down onto the mat there. Just give it a quick shake up just to make sure that the binder is mixed nicely. And then I'm going to grab my brush. That may be a bit too big actually, that one. I've got a smaller one. Yeah, it's pretty much the same size, isn't it? I'll just use this one. Okay, so I'll grab the green paint and then I'm going to go all the way over everything. Just mix up those two paints. And I'm not particularly bothered about leaving or covering all the white completely. If I can see a little bit of the white showing through underneath, that's fine by me. That's it, getting that, all the nooks and crannies of the clock face. We'll try and get right in underneath that penny farthing. Making sure I'm using the edge of the brush to get right into all the detail on those embellishments. Oh, Mr. Bentley's coming. Didn't hear him sneaking. I was obviously concentrating on what I was doing. He's brought Teddy with him, so I think he's expecting to have a quick 5-minute play, which I will be able to do when this green layer is drying. That black that's just sprayed everywhere is some paint from the handle of the brush. Obviously left it in the water too long. I'm terrible with my brushes. I never clean them straight away. I blame the fact that our local craft store sells paintbrushes so cheaply. In my mind, they're almost disposable. I know, it's shocking, but right, so I'm picking up some of the lighter colour and just whizzing it all the way around. That should do. So that is my green, that's my jade. And I've stuck my junk down. Oh, we've all gone out of focus. Come on, that's better. Thank you very much. So I'll get that dried off, play with Mr. Bentley with his teddy, and then I'll be right back. Now that the green is dry, I'm going to add a little bit of darkness into the background. So I've got these acrylic inks. which, yeah, the pipettes don't really work anymore. So I'm just going to dip in and just add some of that darker colour into the background with a brush, and then I'm going to flush it a little bit with water. It would help if I'd fill my water bottle up, wouldn't it? Have I got another one? Yes, there's another one there. Right. That's better, and then we can let it run down then. So a bit more of that grungy green. And then give it a squirt. And then we can just let it cascade all the way down then. Get right into some of the detail with the dark. Just take it all the way to the top. And the water will then help to run all the way down and fill in some of them darker areas. Give it a tap. I'm also going to do the same thing with, there's a sepia colour here. I don't think, does that work as well? Yeah. So we do have some of the darker colour. That's better. Now that's much better. Now this is going to start getting messy. To let it run. So grab some of those kitchen towels. Okay, so now we've got that, we can lay it flat a bit. I need a bit more over there, I think. The darker green just over there. Let some of the darker colour sit in those valleys of the corrugation. And then if I just quickly, wholly unprepared with the water today, aren't I? Right. That should stay as it is. Let me just go get some more water and then I'll be back. Right, so I'm replenished with the water. And I think I'm fairly sort of happy with the way that's looking. Got darkness just sitting in those kind of low lying areas. So I think I'm going to be happy to leave that to dry now. So I shall let it dry and then I'll be right back. So all that grunge and dirt in the grooves is all dry now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a coat of white, just dry brushed now, just over the top. Just to kind of make all that detail stand out a little bit. Almost like adds a frosting. You see how it's picking out all the detail? going to work, excuse me, in the opposite direction to the way that the corrugated cardboard is working. Look at the detail on that plastic. And then you can see how the writing is being picked up on that disc. This is one of my most favourite techniques in all of kind of like the mixed media arsenal that we have, is the dry brushing. I just think it reveals so much intricate detail, but also you can kind of unify any kind of disparate elements that don't really go together. Once you've added a layer of colour and then dry brushed over the top, it just pulls everything together. Just like that. I'm extremely happy with the way that's kind of turned out. So I'm just going to flip over the back. I'm not going to cover the back with anything like I would normally do, because I want you to see the fact that it is a junk, made from junk. So I'm just going to grab some spirit glue. I did have a bottle somewhere, probably all run out knowing me. So that'll do. I'm going to have a look on the internet later to see if I can get some rubber cement. You know, the type that you get in a pot with a brush. I don't know why I never thought of it earlier. Yeah, look at it all. It all just comes gushing out. I hate these pots. I love the glue but I hate the pots. Okay. So that can sit on the back there, and then all I have to do is to work out where the hole's going to go. Right, so let's just grab the template and then I can flip that over and then mark it on the back. Okay, and then I should have my hole punch over here. That should do it. Ooh, a bit difficult. Right, that's one thickness of cardboard done. Let's try and do the other. Let's see if I haven't broken it. I think I've broken it. Oh, there we go. Ah, crikey. So there we go. So there we've got jade and junk for this one. So I hope you've enjoyed watching me create this art tag for June's mid-month mini mission inspiration. There's a clickable link in the description area below, but there's the URL on the screen there for our Facebook Art Challenge group. So if you fancy having a crack, why not pop along and join us? So that's it for me for now. I will see you all again very, very soon. Bye for now. like to say a huge thank you to all of my angels, because without you, these videos would not be possible. And don't forget, you can access your exclusive angel-only content over on my website. There's a link in the description area below. Thank you.